sir. Mr. French. He's got a good last name like me. Mr. French and Mr. Love. We should take this show on the road. So you guys are having fun? I have. I don't know about you, but I have had the time of my life. Met my new best friend, Mr. Malik over there. We've been having a great time. So do you guys feel like this information's been helpful? Great. Well, get ready. We've got some more information for you. So we got a nice group of panelists, and I'll take a moment to just state the name and what they do, and each person can take a second to tell us a little bit about how they got started, and then we'll dive into the questions. So the first panelist that we have is Ms. Darlene Kannady, who's the owner, and she's an attorney at Kannady Law. Actually, I'll just introduce everybody, and whenever we ask the first question, just tell us a little bit about what you do. So I'll go ahead and just state what everybody does. So the next panelist we have is Ms. Dena Evans. She's a pharmacy student at UNC Chapel Hill. And let's give them a hand, too. I know they're probably a little nervous. Let's give them some pep there, all right? And the next panelist we have is Ms. Cynthia McDonald, who is the library manager, the Spangler Children's Library Manager at ImaginOn in Charlotte, Mecklenburg Library. And the last panelist, let's give her a hand. Thank you, thank you. And the last panelist, last but not least, Mr. Jzar, who's the owner and operator of community development at Arikans United Strength and Brothers. Let's give him a hand. Awesome. So, just want to start and just give you a little bit about myself, being an alumni here of the great University of North Carolina, Charlotte. Let's give it up. Go Niners. All right. So I started a company in 2015, and it's called HAWU LLC, which stands for Here All Winners United. Now there's a backstory to HAWU. That's actually my grandmother's name. Well, it's her nickname. My grandmother's name was, she just passed away 2 weeks ago, but her name was Hattie Ruth Love, and she raised 13 children on the south side of Chicago. So as you can imagine, some of those 13 children couldn't say Hattie Ruth, so they called her HAWU. So when I was 7 years old, living in Atlanta, I told my grandmother, I'm gonna start a company one day. Actually, I said I'm gonna be an entrepreneur, and I couldn't spell the word entrepreneur. Still can't spell entrepreneur. Thank God for spell check, right? So I told I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. And she said in that grandma voice, baby, you can do anything you put your mind to. And it stuck with me, and that's what I did. So in 2015, I honored my grandmother. And so having a funeral 2 weeks ago, it just warmed my heart to know that she got a chance to see it before she passed away. So let's give a hand for my grandmother. All right. So now, let's dive right in. So we'll start with Miss Dena Evans. Dena, so how was your liberal arts and sciences degree? How has it been valuable? How has that helped you? How has it been valuable to you, Dena?
So my degree has been very valuable. I'm not sure if you all know, but to go to pharmacy school, you don't necessarily have to have a degree. So there's some of my classmates who, take the courses for 2 or 3 years and then they go to apply to pharmacy school. Or there's some of my classmates who major in something completely outside of the sciences, maybe like biology or marketing or something like that. But what I've noticed that getting my degree and doing the complete 4 years, I had a really good, solid background in the sciences versus some of my classmates I know who did like the prerequisites may have struggled a little bit more with some of the science-related coursework that we had. So definitely getting my biology degree, it definitely helped me be very competitive with the coursework and stay on top of my work. And yes.
Awesome, great answer, Dena. Same question, Cynthia. How's your liberal arts and sciences degree helped you?
Sure, so I have an English degree, and working in the library, of course, the English degree has been very helpful with research, all of those papers that we have to write when we have an English degree. So being able to research, to determine what sources are credible, learning how to cite papers, not to mention the public speaking element. There were so many aspects, truly, of this degree, not just the research, not just the public speaking, but even just working together as a team, all of the collaboration that you learn as you're moving your way through the degree, all of that, and not just English, but all of that truly has come into play in almost every aspect of what I do. But the writing especially, you may think that you're going into a profession where you don't really have to have a lot of skill in writing, but let me tell you, there is not a career under the sun that you don't have to have some writing skill, even if you're just sending email. So every step along the way has prepared me for what I've ended up in my career in the library.
Awesome. Same question, Darlene.
So I do criminal defense and business law. Obviously, a major in criminal justice was very helpful. But the English, I put back off of what you said, my English minor was extremely helpful. You don't see it on Law and Order and all the criminal TV shows, but most of the time I'm in my office writing or researching. And then I have to go to court and argue what I wrote or what I researched. But a majority of your time as an attorney is spent writing. I had some really good courses here that I think prepared me. I'm pretty sure she's still a professor here, Janica Lewis. I had her in her class, even though it was an African American Studies class, there was a lot of writing involved. So that was very helpful. So anything that encourages writing, anything, even creative writing, anything that encourages you to learn how to use your grammar, to learn how to properly write, because people are going to judge you off that. If you send an email and you're using the wrong there, people are going to remember that, and it's going to be embarrassing. So they're going to judge you off your writing before they even meet you. So I think definitely my English minor, again, for obvious reasons, my criminal justice major.
Awesome. And you cannot trust spell check, but there. So the word there, they'll say it's right, but it's not right. It's in the wrong context. So, Mr. Wisdom, how has your liberal arts degree helped you in business?
Well, I guess I'm going to piggyback off of everybody because I even wrote it down here. Research is important. Even though I'm a community activist and a youth leadership organizer, I still have to, I do things like write grants and proposals, and a lot of people are not willing to part with money for ideas that are not substantiated or have no empirical data to support them. So research is really big. Unfortunately, I'm not as good as a writer, so I get people to help me with the writing, but I can second that idea that writing is definitely important. For me, I was a non-traditional student, so when I got here, I was in my 30s, and I had 3 children already. So time management, I know that's not necessarily a degree, but just to get through it, learning that time management was really important, and discipline and consistency. So those are the things that really help. But I think the research aspect and knowing where to go really was a big benefit.
Awesome, excellent answer. Now, Cynthia, you mentioned public speaking. I want to take some time to elaborate on that one because I'm a former Toastmaster and I'm a big fan of public speaking. It really helps. How important is public speaking, and how has that helped you in business?
Well, you may not think that it's important being a library manager, but one thing, and again, I'll say, I believe in almost any career field that you choose, if you learn the basic tenets of how to address and engage an audience, you're going to be speaking out on behalf of whatever field you're in, whatever department you're a part of, whatever branch you manage. You're going to be in meetings all the time, and you're going to be asked to do presentations. And in those presentations, just like my friend here was saying, you're going to be judged on how well and how effectively you're able to communicate the ideas, the points that you're trying to get across. Are you able to engage your audience, or are they falling asleep on you? So the public speaking aspect, and I wouldn't have even thought But it also comes into play as you move toward your junior, senior years, where you're going to be paired up and you're going to be presenting different projects as a group. That's where you'll put that public speaking into action. And I'm gonna tell you, take advantage of that because you will be using that.
Great answer. So Dena, what have been your strategies for excelling in your current role?
So I would definitely say some strategies for excelling would be definitely building a network. So I'm currently on rotation right now, and I meet a whole bunch of different preceptors and people who work in different areas of pharmacy. And it's really important to be able to understand how they got there, what's their story, what's their background, so that you can take the appropriate steps and put those into action so that you can be successful yourself.
Excellent. Now, Wisdom, I know you do a lot of stuff in the community. We've actually worked on projects together in the Charlotte community. And that came up, that was a recurring theme in some of the breakout sessions that I attended today, was nonprofit involvement and being involved in the community. How important is that, and how does that tie into what you experience as a student? And how important is the community aspect of it? How does that translate? And what are some of the things that they can do as students? Because there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores in the room that may benefit from having some type of community engagement. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, well, yeah, that's a lot. The community aspect is definitely important, and I guess as a student, the younger that you get involved, and the more time that you get involved with whatever your field is in the community, I'm not going to say just grassroots, but just on the ground, getting that experience is really important. As I would say volunteering, and that's how I started, was volunteering. Unfortunately, there's a lot of research that suggests that college students are not the best for volunteering because they're always having other things to do. So it would seem like they're the ideal people for volunteering, especially with children. But their time limit and the time requirements for children in terms of being consistent and dedicating, a certain amount of time to helping children. I deal with a lot of high-risk children and non-traditional type children, and they need consistency. So it's been shown that actually the older people, even though college kids are always targeted, older, more mature individuals actually work better. However, for components of getting information out and for short-term activities, college students are really helpful and definitely necessary. But if it's in your field, then it certainly is a benefit, and it's going to give you a step up after you graduate, because it gives you more real hands-on experience. So I hate to say that, but I've tried it so many times. That I think college students are the most willing, and they're the most passionate. But sometimes the idea that their schedules are so, they fluctuate so much, and they're in such a flux in terms of their lives, and it's hard to keep them consistently involved. So think about that as a student. Make sure you think about that, because you have the passion, you have the drive, which is definitely necessary, but don't discount your schedule and your ability to commit or dedicate time to whatever you volunteer in. I hope
Thank you, sir.
Helps someone.
Definitely. So time management, self-discipline. So those are two biggest takeaways, is be able to manage your time. So this next question is for Darlene. What piece of advice, or actually I'll ask this question. So what was your most rewarding experience as an undergraduate student? Most rewarding experience?
It might go to the community involvement. I interned for an attorney here in Charlotte. So my most rewarding experience was helping him out with some of his cases. One particularly where it was a young kid who really was at the wrong place and made a bad decision. And being able to guide him and help the attorney understand from from a younger perspective, why this person would do what they would do and why they were in the situation that they were in. It was valuable for both I would say don't ever downplay your value as a young person. Don't ever let anyone minimize your value as a young person. You hear a lot of trash talk about millennials and how, you know, we're this and we're that, but we bring a lot more value than sometimes people want to give credit for. So you have to go out knowing that you bring that value, but also showcase how you bring that value. So I think in that particular case, I was able to just certain lingo that we use, certain, you know, acts that he might not have been aware of without my help. So just making him aware, and it was able to ultimately result in getting the case dismissed, which is not an easy thing to do. So that was probably my most rewarding moment.
Same question for Dena, and then I want to come to Cynthia for a specific question. But same question, Dena. What was your most rewarding experience as an undergraduate student?
So definitely my most rewarding experience was being able to walk across the stage with my degree. A bachelor's of science in biology with a chemistry minor. It was definitely challenging. There were times I didn't know if I was gonna make it. But definitely being able to look back and see that, you know, I was able to accomplish it and, you know, be involved. I was able to volunteer and just be able to be a completely well-rounded student. And it's very important to, you know, grades are important, but it's important to also leave your mark as well.
Awesome. So Cynthia, you being a library manager, you'll probably end up hiring some of the people in this room. So good luck to you guys. So what are some of the personal attributes, or what are some important qualities that you look for when hiring professionals to come and work at ImaginOn or the library system? Even if you don't do any hiring right now, what do you think are some of the personal attributes that a student should have or an applicant should have?
Well, that's a great question, and actually, I do spend a lot of time, hello. I do spend a lot of time serving on interview panels. I'm on one right now, as a matter of fact. So one of the things, if I could give any advice, it would be this. When you come into an interview, you are there to sell me on you. So you are motivated, you have something amazing to offer me, you have skills that you have researched specifically how it can increase our customer count, our customer services, our library, whatever it is. Do your homework, know what the job is asking for, what the job description is, and then already have a plan of action of how you bring something to the table that can make that job better, and sell yourself on it. Be very confident. We have so many people that come in and they are so nervous that they can hardly look you in the eye, much less tell you who they are, what their value is, and how that value translates into exactly what I'm looking for. And I'll tell you, that motivation, that attitude, you've sold me right there. I mean, even if you're off base with what let's just say that you have identified a need in our library at ImaginOn and you think you can address that need, even if it's not something that we are specifically looking to place you in, your attitude, your can-do, your confidence is going to sell you for that job, because I'm going to tell you the truth, we don't see enough of that. We do not see enough people that come in there truly motivated to get that job.
Terrific. And to add to that, create a plan. I would say just a little piece of advice to go into a new employer is create a plan. Have a 30, 60, and 90-day plan. So even if you don't feel like you're going to achieve that 30-day plan, employers like that. When you can walk in and say, hey, in 30 days I plan to be here. In 60 days I plan to interview for another position. In 90 days I plan to get promoted to XYZ position. Even if you don't know how you're going to get there, having it on paper, there's magic in writing things down. So write down that plan. If you go to a new employer, even if it's just an internship, have a 30, 60, and a 90-day plan. It's going to help you out. It'll impress the employers. Okay?